Welcome back. This is part 3 of the kiln chamber build. We got the facing on the doors, and I got everything taped up with that fancy foil tape. Here on the inside, we just mounted the wet bulb and dry bulb setup, and here's the wet bulb. It's actually, this is in water and it's actually already wet, and just by sticking it in there. And the probe mounts to the wall, comes with a little bracket, and you just slide the wick right up on the probe. It'll get on there. Anyways, I'll do that in a second. Here's the dry bulb, just mounted to the wall. Nothing elaborate with it. It just needs to read the actual temperature inside. So we're going to be, the next step is I'm going to do plywood baffles across here, so it separates the air coming out, forces it back over the stack and through the lumber to come back through the bottom. We're going to be doing that and then cutting in the intake vent, and the exhaust vent will be back there. Alright, stay tuned. Back inside, I've done this handle so you can pull the door too from the inside. If you're coming in to check it, I didn't put any other doors in here. I'll probably end up paying for that, I guess, but it'll be alright. Here's the baffle going up about to the top of the unit. Nothing special, just something to keep the air, forcing it around the stacks of lumber, and that should work. Here's the intake vent. I just got temporary wire nutted off there. We went up mounting a box on the wall to do the terminations correct. It actually mounts into the unit out here to give it power for whenever it hits a certain temperature. It actually kicks on, and the louvers actually in there, they suck open. So once the fan kicks on, it sucks that open, and then kicks these open on this back side for your exhaust. So hopefully that works pretty decent. Scott did an awesome job taping that up. Looks good. So that's pretty much it on the intake and exhaust. Actually, on the intake too, this piece was actually long enough where we stuck it plumb through the wall, and on the outside the louvers screwed to the unit, so it actually is in there really sturdy. So that was pretty simple. It's the next day, and we done a test on it overnight, left it running all night. I had the dry bulb set to 110 and the wet bulb set to 75. Just there's nothing inside drying, but I came in this morning, and there's the settings. It's currently 98 degrees, and wet bulb's at 71.4, which really tells you that everything in there is dry. But there's nothing in there too dry, so that would make sense. And I figured it would be over or at closer to 110, but I'd been noticing every time you open and close the doors, it's so tight that it actually blows open the vents, like the one in the back there. So here's the outside exhaust vent, and what happens is the door and everything is so tight inside that when you shut the door back, it creates, you know, such a pressure inside that it forces these open. And as you see, they stay open, and that's what had happened last night. And it was basically just putting air into the shop. I don't know why I didn't check this before we left, but I didn't. So that's probably why it wasn't over or close to 110. So did this little handy trick, just a small bungee. It's barely on there. It's not got much tension on it, so I'm hoping that when the auto fan kicks on, it's got enough force to just barely open this what it needs. So, like I said, there's not much on that. And I can move the screw up. I just got it mounted to a screw. Did the same thing on the other side. And here's the outside of the intake. Same thing with it. It would come open and they would stay open. You know, they need to fall back down. So just a little bitty bit of tension on a bungee should keep it open. I'm gonna do a little test here in a second to put my wires in there to see how much it flows and see if it actually will open it with the bungee. I hope it will. It should. All right, the vent fan is on and the bungee's working. So that's good. Oh yeah, closes right up. Check the other side. Well, the opposite side, there's a ton of air coming out. It's, you know, it's got gaps in it from the factory. It's actually snapping back pretty decent, but yeah, it's coming out. And I got that as loose as I can do it. As far as the bungee. So, fan is working. It's about that time to try and put a load in. Here's the cart. Big old bunch of steel. Let's see how easy it is to move. Not terrible at all. Of course, once I put a couple thousand pounds on it, it'll be tough to move. Well, it's in, and I'll be the first to admit that's a kind of a crappy stack. I know it's not stickered well, and it's kind of all over the place. These are just some cut-offs and whatnot that was just part of milling. They were too good to throw away or burn. So those are the test pieces. I don't know the footage. It looks to be about 500-600 feet or so. We'll give it a shot and see how it does. I'm not going to worry about putting the baffles over top on this load. Everything in there is somewhere around 15%. Some of it down is like as low as 9. Just kind of an experiment. Future loads I'll do a whole lot better. I pushed that load in. It's inside now. I just fired up the kiln, and right here's the settings it's at. Well, actually not settings, it's the temperature it's at currently. It's climbing pretty fast. I'll go through the configuration here, how I set it. I set my dry bulb to 120. You just hit the select button. Hits the select button again, and it goes to your wet bulb. I set it at 120 and 88. And then you hit select again and it's set. I've actually got the compressor on, the heat on, and humidification on. The vent I do not have on because it's not hooked up at the moment. I'll be back tomorrow afternoon to check it out and see what's going on and if there's any moisture in little tub there. That's the drain hose. It goes all the way down the back through the wall to here. I think that's all that's going to be part of part 3 on the kiln chamber build. I do lack a decent amount inside, but I'm doing a test run anyway because I'm anxious and I'm impatient. I'll probably pay for that too. It's just the way I am. Anyways, I just got to build the track setup for the cart, and so it can come in and out pretty easily. Put the baffle pieces that I'm going to put in to cover the top of the stack, and I'm actually going to use some heavy oak slabs that I have as my weight on the top when I put a stack of lumber in, is the plan anyway, or actually probably 2 pieces. They've been around here a good while and nobody seems to want them, but they are stinking heavy, so I can fork them right on top of the stack with the forklift and push them right in, and I won't be handling them anyway, so that's a great positive. Well, thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video, because I am going to do a part 4.